Hey everybody, Rebecca here, and I know many of you started following me for thrifting and watching my videos about my hauls and all the cool stuff that I find at the thrift stores and TJ Maxx and Marshalls and all of those kind of things. But I wanted to take a minute and talk about why I am doing these things. Some of you may have watched my previous video or my introductory video, and I appreciate that, and I just want to go into a little bit more detail and see if I can help some of you who are struggling with some of the same things that I am. So one of the things that is important to know is, even though I get dressed and I put makeup on and brush my hair and put a bra on and do these videos for you guys and show you what I am buying, I'm also struggling with chronic illnesses, and that's one of the reasons why I guess I don't have to, but I chose to go full-time into side hustling and being able to make money without having to call in sick to somebody or disappointing people. And I really, really, really want you to know that you can do this too. So this whole journey of mine started about 6 years ago, and I have been to probably over 30 different doctors. I've been tested for 40 or more illnesses. I've had countless numbers of blood work done. I have cried in doctors' offices and their parking lots more often than not. And I've just generally been very frustrated with our healthcare system and the experiences that I've had. So that is the topic for another video and another blog post, but it kind of sums up that I have been doing this for a really long time. I have tried pretty much every alternative medicine. I've tried regular medicine, and I think I finally have an answer. But in the meantime, it's been a really long journey. So the most recent is I became the general sales manager of a car dealership in the summer of 2015 here in Virginia. And I was originally the marketing person for him, and he needed some help, and he knew that I had owned a small business and I knew management. He would teach me the car business. So during this time, I was struggling with something called hydronephrosis, where my left kidney was only functioning at about 20% or maybe even 20%. And by the time I had gone, it was an incidental finding, and by the time I had gone to the urologist, I needed something done immediately. That's when they thought that I had cancer and I had a tumor, and it was a very, very, very traumatic experience for me. It ended up being that they couldn't find the cause of my blockage, and I had surgery to reimplant my ureter into my bladder and hopefully fix all this stuff. So for a few months after that, I felt like this was it, and that was all that was wrong with me, and that I was going to live this amazing, fulfilling life again, and I was going to be able to be a trainer again and do fitness modeling and do all the things that I used to do, 6, 10, 8 years ago. But in May, I had my December surgery, but in April and May, I could tell something was not right again. My menstrual cycles were very, very, very bad, and I knew they were going to be bad after the surgery, but they seemed to be getting worse, and I was getting worse. I was completely fatigued. My entire body was swelling. I could just go on and on about all of my symptoms. And at that point, my husband suggested that I take a break and focus on getting healthy, because we didn't know what was wrong with me. Working 50 or more hours a week was just exaggerating the issue of me being sick. It was making me more physically ill than I already was. So I took a couple months, made probably 30 doctor's appointments. I went to Johns Hopkins. They referred me back here. They sent me to a rheumatologist. They sent me to an endocrinologist. They sent me to another specialist. They sent me here. They sent me there. And it really resulted in the same old, same old. So backstory, I have officially been diagnosed with Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. So my thyroid is about 4 times the size that it should be. And I recently started medication for that. They thought I had celiac disease, so I started a blog and did all that stuff. You may know me from my pretty little celiac days, until we moved to Virginia and I found out I was misdiagnosed with that because the doctor didn't know how to diagnose celiac disease. So just a disclaimer, if someone tells you have celiac disease, make sure you are getting it tested properly. Go to the Celiac Disease Center's website and read all about it. Go find people like Celiac and the Beast or Gluten Dude or any of my friends out there that, they are advocates in this space and can help you get answers. And so one of the reasons I knew I didn't have celiac disease is because my health did not improve. Going completely gluten-free on a celiac diet when you have celiac disease should eliminate a lot of the symptoms, and mine didn't. So I was constantly having issues with that. I was having fertility issues. I had a miscarriage. I wasn't ovulating. Later find out through a surgical procedure that I had endometriosis, and this was back in 2012. So now we're with endometriosis, Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. Through the years, I just had constant issues, and then we moved to Virginia and I had to find all new doctors. And then at that point, I found a new gastrointestinal doctor who confirmed through lots of testing, biopsies, all this stuff that I do not have celiac disease, but I did have Barrett's esophagus from extreme GERD, which is extreme heart acid reflux. And no one had caught that. I've been to countless GI doctors and no one ever had suggested that. So because I didn't catch the severe acid reflux over all these years, now I have something called Barrett's esophagus, which can turn into something much more, I don't want to say lethal, but it can potentially turn your cells in your esophagus can turn into cancer cells. So I have to now have endoscopies every 3 years to make sure that it's not getting bigger, and tested and biopsies and all of that stuff. And then I've been to several, gynecologists about the endometriosis. No one seemed to be worried about that. They've tested me for pretty much every autoimmune disease you could imagine, Lyme disease, rheumatoid arthritis. I could just go on and on and on, but I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try to keep this short. But anyway, the bottom line is I always had a gut feeling that this was all of my symptoms, except for the thyroid stuff, was related somehow to my reproductive system. And every doctor that I went to told me that's not correct. Endometriosis doesn't do this. It wouldn't cause this, wouldn't cause this pain. So I was going to go see a specialist for endometriosis. And at that time, I had found out about this kidney stuff, so I didn't make the appointment because I thought, obviously, that this was the issue that I had been dealing with the whole time and no one knew about it. So now that this was going to be fixed, I was going to be fine, right? So the summer of last year, I read Dr. Tamir Sechkin's book, and he is one of the world-renowned endometriosis surgeons in the States. And I got his book. And wouldn't you know, there is a story in his book of a woman who has the exact same blockage that I did. And she had the same thing I did. And I chose not to go see him and go to the gynecologist or go to the urologist instead. And I'm so mad at myself because I knew in my gut that this was an issue, and I didn't listen to my instinct, and I didn't listen to my gut. So I finally got an appointment with Dr. Sechkin this year in January, and I went to see him, and I had an MRI of my pelvis and all this stuff. and I have endometriosis, adenomyosis, and endometriomas on my ovaries, which are called chocolate cysts and create other issues. So all of my 90% of the symptoms that I've been having are related to these 3 things, and no one caught it. So now, the end of March, I'm having a hysterectomy. I'm having all the endometriosis excised, and they're going to go in and see if it's on my bowels and my colon. I have to have a gastrointestinal doctor, a surgeon, a urology surgeon, and my surgeon all in the room with me in New York City, and pay a shit ton of money out of pocket because, you know, he's out of network. He's a private provider. And through all of this, I realized I need to make money to pay for all of my stuff. So I decided to take my hobby of thrifting into a more full-time mode and use it to make, the money for this procedure. So I know that's the long short story version of it, but if I can go through all of that and still be able to, make money and have finances and be able to, help support our family, you can do it too. I have chronic migraines. For 10 days out of the month, I am pretty much worthless because of my cycle. My hormones go up and down. I get hot flashes. My hip hurts. Yeah, my hip. The people who told me it was bursitis. It's not. It's nerve pain from this adenomyosis. So every day I wake up, I never know how I'm going to feel. And so this job allows me to be flexible, treat myself with kindness and understanding, and take the time that I need for myself during the day. So on days that I feel great, I nail out as much as I can, and I list stuff and I get everything ready, and I spend 10 hours if I can, or 8 hours, and I take breaks and I do all this stuff. And then on the days that I feel meh, like there are days where I don't feel terrible, but I don't feel great, I take it easy, and I, maybe I just go list for a little, or, I list, or I go sourcing, or whatever the case may be. I blog, whatever. I film some videos, and the days that I feel like shit, I just relax, and I honor my body, and I honor what's going on with my health, and I take it easy. That's what I have to do. So, for Poshmark, I just sit there and I share away my stuff. And, on eBay, I relist and I look at my listings. Those are all things I can do, from the couch or my chair or my bed or whatever. And so what I want to tell you is, regardless of your situation, if you're chronically ill, if you have, long-term disability, short-term disability, not that this is a disability, but if you're a stay-at-home mom and you need to make some money, but you can't work because your child has daycare or activities or whatever, this job and other side hustles that I do allow for you to be able to be flexible and live the life that you want by design. So if you want to take vacations every month, you can save money and take vacations every month and use the money you sell to pay for your vacations. If you want to pay for your kids' sports or your kids' clothes or your kids' college or whatever it is, this allows you to do it on the side. Now, this also allows you to make extra money on the side while you're working full time, so you can be an entrepreneur, so you can launch your own business, so you can save money to buy a house. So what I will tell you is, if you take a little bit of time to learn how to resell, what sells, what resells, it doesn't take a long time, I promise you. And you go around your house and you sell a bunch of stuff, and then you take half of that money and you put it into, you take a percentage of what you sell and you put it into what you buy, and you keep doing that and you keep replicating it, you're gonna have a nice little side business. And I do 6 different things. I resell, I do consulting, I do personal training, I sell on Instagram, and I'm trying to look at my little thing here. I do affiliate advertising through websites, and I'm always looking for new opportunities. But every single one of these streams of income are things that I can do while I'm out of commission. So, if you get anything from this video, it's that I'm a hot mess. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you can make money even though you have situations that are out of your control. If you look at some of these other thrifters and things like that, they went from food stamps, or they went from minimum wage jobs to selling and making 6 figures a year by reselling stuff. If you think people don't buy used clothes, then you're crazy, because I've been buying used clothes since before buying used clothes was cool, since before Poshmark existed. I have been on eBay since 2007 off and on. I have been more full-time now. And I can tell you that the more time you put into it, the more money you will make. But if you have a certain amount of time that you want to allot, go for it. Do it. It takes me, I'd probably actively working on this 20 to 25 hours a week, because I do have this other stuff going on and I like to spend time with my husband. We also take trips on the weekend. We go to visit family. We're going on family vacation. I'm having a surgery and probably going to be out of commission for a few weeks. All of this stuff I can still do while being out of commission. So, take some time and figure out if this is something that you want to do. Because the other thing is, if you hate going into thrift stores, if you don't want to walk into the Goodwill, if you don't want to spend the time looking for stuff to sell, at least you can do is go around your house and find stuff you don't use and sell it. Sell it. Make $500 in the next couple weeks and find all this crap that you have laying around your house that you don't sell. It's really not that hard. So the moral of this story is, if I can do it, you can do it for sure. And you don't have to do it as much as I do, or the power sellers do, or these other amazing people on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Work on your own terms and do it for you. That no one else pays your bills. Other people don't pay your bills. Okay? Other people aren't in your life. Other people aren't with you on a daily basis, managing your children, or not managing, taking care of your children, managing your bills in your household, doing all the things, being sick, going to doctor's appointments. Like, people don't do that with me. And so for me, I have realized that I try not to place judgment on others, although we're all guilty of it. But the biggest thing is, I try not to place judgment on myself. And it's so easy to judge yourself. And it's so easy for those of you who are chronically ill to feel like you're not worthy, or that you can't do something, or that, you're a failure or a loser, or your self-esteem takes a huge hit when you go from being able to do all the things that you used to do and that you can't do them anymore. And it's hard. It is so hard. But finding something that you can do to increase your self-esteem and your self-worth and feel like you're contributing to your family and your household and your life, it's important. And this allows you to do it with a low threshold of entry. And I just want you to know, seriously, if I can do this, you can do this. And I'm a hot mess disaster, and I manage all of this with chronic pain and migraines and pills. I have 20 different prescriptions that I have for all of my different crap that I have in a bag that I have to take with me everywhere. I'm 35 years old. It's terrible. Things could be worse. Okay? So I am not saying this because I, want anyone to pity me or anything. I want you to know that you can do this. And I want you to know that it's hard, and it is hard sometimes for me to get up and do stuff, but this makes me want to get up and do stuff. So if you're still sticking around in this video, obviously thank you, but just know that you can do this, and you can do this and any other work from home things, and do it on your own terms and be your own boss and help you, build your life again. If I can help one person build their life again who is struggling like I am, this is all worth it. It's all worth it. So anyway, thanks for, I don't know how to end this, but, except saying you can do it. And I'll help you as much as I can. I'll teach you what I do. I'll show you what I do. I'll do giveaways, whatever I can do. But there's a lot of people out here like us, and we can all get through this together. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have the best of, the best of everything, and are able to maybe find a way to, join this journey with all the rest of us and create a life that is a little bit better or different or happier than, what some of us are living right now. So thanks for watching. All my links are below. Come follow me on Instagram. I'm kind of funny. I don't know. Boss Lady Resale on Instagram. And thank you again. I'll see you next time. Bye.